What's up everyone, Armada here, and in today's video we're gonna go over one part of the tier list, and in this one we're gonna go over the characters that I believe are the absolutely worst ones in Melee. And please remember, no tier list is a law. This is my current opinion on what I consider to be the 6 worst characters in the game. Bowser is a character with a lot of weaknesses. He's a huge character, which makes him an easy target to land hits on. He's combo food for basically every character in the game, and he is for the most part also a very slow character. Bowser is also a character that himself barely have a combo game or solid movement. If Yoshi's Story was the only legal stage in the game, I would maybe move him up a spot or 2 on the tier list, since his up B out of shield actually is very solid, and since Yoshi is a small stage, he can reach the ledge easily after up B, and he's also much faster than Yoshi's because of the height of the platforms. Sadly for Bowser though, best of 3 involve bans, and as a solo Bowser main, you should never make it to best of 5 at a great tournament. That's just sadly how it is, in my opinion. And he's also way worse on every other stage that isn't Yoshi's. Bowser also does not really have many things going for him, except for the strong up B out of shield, and overall feels very gimmicky, and not more than that sadly for me, so I currently consider him the worst character in the game. Zelda shares 2 similar traits with Bowser that makes me believe she belongs down there with him. Zelda barely have a combo game or solid movement, this on top with no solid out of shield options at all. Her grab is not quite, but almost half the speed of most characters' grabs, so shield can be used against her more effectively, since she lacks follow-ups against most characters from grab, combined with very slow movement and very slow grab. Zelda do have a few solid moves though, and I think this is mainly the reason why she's better than Bowser. Backer and Thayer are both very strong, and they're not super slow either. Her recovery while being super bad can be optimized with edge cancels to not make it straight up garbage like it looks like pretty much all the time. Kirby is by many considered to be the worst character in all of Melee, but I gotta say that I disagree for sure here. Kirby's still a bad character, but he does have many things that makes me believe he should not be considered bottom 2. While Kirby have really bad aerial mobility, which makes him suffer a lot in neutral, punish game and recovery compared to Puff, he still has a few good traits. Kirby's crouch is really low, and just like Puff, he can avoid a lot of grabs by crouching. He obviously did not have a rest to punish those with grabs, but his up tilt can be a good combo starter instead. His down tilt is good for edge guarding, and his F tilt being decent as a poke move in neutral means that all his tilts actually are fairly good. Despite this very slow mobility in the air, he still has a very solid edge guard, thanks to the fact that he has so many extra jumps, and his down air makes it quite hard for quite a few characters to make it back to the stage against him. His back air can also be used as a solid spacing move in neutral, despite obviously being much worse than Puff's. His sphere is a multi-hit move, and based on how you land it, it can set up for some tricky sequences for sure. Kirby could also easily land behind the opponent's shield, which makes it trickier for the opponent to deal with him out of shield. His upper is also kinda strong and works good for sending his opponents off stage. Many people will probably mention some of his beyond horrible throws, and yes, back and forward throw is very bad and should never be used, but that alone does not make him a bottom 2 character by any means. So despite being very bad, I consider him clearly a better character than Bowser and Zelda, at least currently. Roy might come as a surprise to many, but let me explain my thought process behind it. While Roy have a few good traits, mainly a good dash dance and a really good down tilt to set up for decent punishes, Roy have some incredibly big weaknesses as well. All of Roy's aerials send his opponent nowhere at all, which makes it really hard for him to close out stocks, unless you go for risky forward smashers or counters. And in a metagame where platform game and chill drops only get better and better, I feel like Roy gets worse. How is he supposed to kill opponents with aerials that sends you nowhere, and also that are incredibly risky thanks to chill drops? Roy might be slightly higher if you don't intentionally try to make his life as hard as possible, but if you're willing to go the distance and really show Roy players how big of a weakness he has, I feel like he very well could be a bottom 4 character in this game. Pichu is also a character that by many, at some point in time, was thought to be the worst character in the game, but on my tier list, he's only the 5th worst. Why? Even though the usual argument against Pichu is that he hurts himself doing many of his moves and is very light, they are both true, but those things alone does not make him a contender for the worst in the game. I believe that Pichu's speed, nair, and recovery alone makes him a better character than some of the characters below him. Pichu's speed in air gives him, like Pikachu, a solid way of approaching his opponents, which makes a good Pichu player more unpredictable, and his recovery is actually pretty tricky to edgeguard as well. Also, compared to every character below him except maybe Roy, he also has clearly superior grab game, where both chain grabs and auto combos truly exist in both a more consistent and a more optimal fashion. Don't get me wrong, Pichu is still not a good character, but historically he has been one of the more underrated characters in the Melee history, and even if the creators probably intended for him to be the worst character in the game, that's clearly not the case. Ness is one of the hardest characters for me personally to talk about, because I pretty much never play as him or against him, but I still believe Ness have enough tools to land exactly here in the tier list. His aerials are actually all pretty good, with either combo potential with his down air and up air, or kill power with his back air, or as a good spacing tool in neutral with fair. Combine this with his double jump cancel, and he's not a horrible character all around by any means. Ness also have fairly good throws with a strong back throw and combo potential or positional advantage from up throw. What really holds Ness back as a character is his terrible recovery that takes a really long time to perform, which makes him a very easy target off stage. Incredibly good DI can many times at least make you able to air dodge back on the stage, so the better DI you have, the smaller this weakness becomes, even if it's still a really bad one. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and please let me know in the comments below what 6 characters you believe are the absolutely worst ones in Melee. And also, if you like the content, please make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.